What's going on, y'all? It's Athletes Culture again, coming at you with another video. So this past weekend, Manny Pacquiao was victorious against Keith one-time Thurman in a welterweight championship fight for the WBA title. This fight was very indicative to a myriad of questions many boxing fans had, both casual and avid watchers alike. And three that stuck out to me were this: is Manny a top 10 fighter of all time? I believe the answer is yes. He definitely answered that Saturday by his performance. He's definitely, substantially older than Keith Thurman. I think he has over a decade on him. And for the boxing skills that were put on display by Manny Pacquiao, and on top of that, the energy that he had, I mean, wow, it was very, very eye-opening to say, like, this guy's a top 10 fighter of all time. I mean, this is the same Manny Pacquiao that is an eight division world champion. Nobody else has ever done that. So definitely hats off to Manny Pacquiao on that aspect. He answered that question. He is a top 10 fighter of all time. Second question that was answered: is Keith Thurman a top 3 welterweight? Now, the fight was billed as welterweight supremacy, and I put that in quotations. And the reason being is this: Keith Thurman did not prove that he's a top 3 welterweight from that fight. He fell victim to a lot of, rudimentary, very elementary type of tactics that Manny put out there. And if he was an avid watcher, or at least studier of the sport, he would have watched the Floyd fight to see that, hey, Floyd was able to evade a lot of Manny Pacquiao's setups, and he could have instituted that same strategy in this fight, which he did not. If he was a top 3 welterweight, he would have watched film and seen, like, hey, this is how Floyd was able to counteract Manny Pacquiao's timing and stopping those combinations from getting out, and not falling into a lot of these traps, because that's what set up, Keith Thurman's downfall, was a lot of the flurries and the combinations that were being thrown, which Keith Thurman ate. And you seen that he was trying to evade the power of Manny Pacquiao, which is what caused his first round knockdown by him backpedaling. And on top of that, most importantly, if anybody was watching that or got the fight on pay-per-view, you would have watched the undercard fight, and you would have seen the Ugas fight. Ugas is that Cuban guy. Like, if you seen that fight, definitely you would have said, hey, Ugas Hernandez is definitely skill-wise a top 3 fighter, and is more skilled than Keith Thurman. I mean, the beating he put on Omar Figueroa was, man, he won that fight by unanimous decision, and it was definitely the Ugas show from start to finish. So to me, in my opinion, skill-wise, Ugas shown that he is a top 3 welterweight. I'm good to put in there. And then obviously the champions being Manny Pacquiao, Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford. Those are the top welterweights out there. But if you want to put in skills, then definitely there's going to be 4 fighters ahead of Keith Thurman. So from that was answered. Keith Thurman is not a top 3 welterweight. But the most important question of them all from that night, and I don't even think that was really answered, it's just still left for speculation. The only way you can answer it is by actually being tested. And that is Manny Pacquiao on PEDs? So with his performance that we seen that night, I mean, it was very incredible what Manny Pacquiao did out there. However, we have to put in consideration, Manny Pacquiao's 41 going on to 42. The stamina and the power that, and especially the sharp reflexes he was able to show with his quick feet, shown that, man, this guy is definitely a world-class fighter. We don't know how he's still doing it. It's very questionable. So with that said, like, you remember going into the fight, Keith Thurman did say he did not care if VADA testing was put out there. So that leads us to believe, hey, Keith Thurman, either you're on drugs too as well. So we remember going back to the Floyd stipulation and the Floyd fight with him, Floyd wanted Manny Pacquiao to be tested. And for Manny Pacquiao to still be going on at this age and still being as sharp as he is and still delivering the beatings that he is given, especially to Adrian Broner and to Keith Thurman, the questions only remain like, hey, is this guy on PEDs? I mean, we all know Manny Pacquiao had power, but at this age to still sustain that power, that's what actually got Keith Thurman backpedaling, which causes knockdown. And if you remember the Adrian Broner fight, and Adrian Broner, we laugh at him, but he did a pretty good job because he knew the power that Manny Pacquiao was coming with, which is why he didn't really let his hands go, and he didn't want to take a lot of risks because he knew one slight slip up could mean his downfall. He was definitely going to be out of there if he got hit by one of those Manny flurries. And remember Floyd too, in his fight too, Floyd wasn't really pressing Manny the whole time. He just did a very good job by, disrupting Manny Pacquiao's timings, seizing the opportunities, because Manny Pacquiao takes a lot of risks. He likes to jump in there and throw a lot of flurries, which leaves his ass pretty open. And I'm surprised Keith Thurman didn't take advantage of that. But when you look at rounds, in the later rounds, like rounds 7 through 9, for example, I have Keith Thurman definitely winning those rounds. If he had fought like that the whole way through, he would have definitely beat Manny Pacquiao. So that was just more so telling to the IQ, the boxing IQ of Keith Thurman. Because in those rounds, he definitely cleared up Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao looked like he lost a little bit of edge, but still, he had the energy. Because if you look at rounds 10 through the final closing round, it's like he had just another juice of life coming into him, and he just took advantage of Keith Thurman. I mean, especially when you look at the body shot, the body shot that was delivered in round 10, I believe it was, to Keith Thurman, that just took the life out of Thurman. I mean, he spit out his mouthpiece. So with that power, the energy that Manny Pacquiao still has, the question is up there. Hey, is he under PEDs? He was not tested for this fight, so only time can tell. My opinion going forward is this. He is going to definitely take on a fight with Errol Spence Jr. I see that as a big money fight, a big time fight for Errol Spence Jr. to even build up his brand and household name recognition. Once Errol Spence defeats Manny Pacquiao, because he's a way smarter fighter than Keith Thurman, so I don't see him falling victim to a lot of that, a lot of those easy setups that Keith Thurman fell victim to. So I see that fight happening in the future. I don't see Floyd taking on Manny Pacquiao anytime soon. We seen Floyd was in attendance to see how Manny Pacquiao is. And I think Manny Pacquiao noticed that, hey, two things. One, this guy is really sharp. And also two, there's a high potential that he could be on performance-enhancing drugs. But I want to hear what y'all have to say. Like, comment, subscribe down below. I'm out.